So this is Ellroy, 1980, when he's just starting out as a writer. He's got his first book deal and basically starts flirting with his editor, who's never met. He's never met her in person, Nellie Saban, so I'll just get going. In his correspondence with Nellie, Ellroy began to make increasingly forward comments. In a letter dated December 15th, 1980, he wrote, "I was hot-footing it down the Venice boardwalk an hour ago when unexpectedly ardent thoughts of you ambushed me." He informs Nellie that, "I have a feeling that I'll be writing to you beyond the bounds of the writer-editor relationship. If my letters become too romantic, let me know. I will then tether my leash to a distant phone pole and bark in other directions." Despite telling Nellie that he has recently rekindled an old flame, by which he meant Penny, he goes on to say he's contemplating visiting New York for a Christmas vacation and warns, "Beware, I will be coming armed for romance. Be sure to carry a can of mace to keep me at bay across the luncheon table, or I will be barking outside your window like a hungry dog." In a letter to Nellie dated April 14th, 1981, Ellroy opens with his typically bizarre humour. He tells the story of Louis and Loretta, two cockroaches in his apartment who crawl out of their reconverted rent-controlled Roach Hotel and dance the cockroach cadenza every time he plays classical music. As an author, he is already entertaining plans of moving on from crime fiction, which he describes as full of macho bullshit and cheap pathos. For Ellroy, there are only two crime writers at the level of genius, George V. Higgins and Ross MacDonald. But Ellroy talks as though he alone is touched with genius when describing his latest manuscript, Alley Death Trip, a narrative suffused with murderous passion, runaway inflation, a physical landscape becoming more and more blighted, sex becoming more and more available and less satisfying, soaring crime rates and the resulting paranoia, alcoholism and drug addiction becoming epidemic, nostalgia deified, punk rock, blasted innocence, inoperative machinery, religious fanaticism, ambiguous change, your life claptraps abounding, and in, under, all about and around these things, the search for a perfect spiritual and physical love, profound in its ardour, heartbreaking in its selfishness, astounding in its misplaced tenderness. Such are the chaotic elements that will make crime fiction the relevant, passion-inducing voice that it must be. Amidst the boasting and joking, Ellroy finds time to talk about his religious views and probe Nellie, as a potential partner, about hers. "Do you believe in God?" "I do, although faith is difficult for me, even in light of the miracle of my sobriety and all the other miracles that have resulted because of it. What a strange, powerful paradox that the world should be so insane, yet life so beautiful. I firmly believe that God is alive and that he, or she, loves the most monstrous person on earth as she, or he, loves the most loving. It's funny, but until I got sober, I never gave God much thought. I've never been a Christian, Jew, Buddhist, Hindu, Muslim, or philosophy lover. I've never actively sought enlightenment, yet through this mad, city-bound life of mine, directionals of pure love have pointed me to a God who can do for me what I cannot do for myself." Right, we now jump forward a couple of months. Ellroy's moved from Los Angeles to New York, and it's his first day visiting his publisher, Avon, and it's his first day he's meeting Nellie in the flesh after all of this somewhat one-way flirting. Nellie Saban recalls his first appearance at the Avon offices. He commanded a lot of attention. A guy over 6 feet tall walking down the hall in his Brooks Brothers suit holding a little bunch of flowers in front of him. Who was he? He found me in my little office, and the first thing he said was, "You don't sound the way I thought you would." So already there was a disparity between his dream editor and me. They went out to lunch, and Ellroy clearly wanted to make some progress on the flirtatious remarks he had made to Nellie in their correspondence. "So now, is there a special man in your life?" "I'm married, James, you know that." Nellie was shocked at his response. "You're married?" James bellowed in the tiny restaurant, sweeping things onto the floor with a crash. The other patrons looked at me disapprovingly. How could I have been so cruel to the gentleman in the Brooks Brothers suit? I was certain I had made it clear to James already that I was married. But obviously there'd been a miscommunication. By the time they got back to the office, any disappointment Ellroy felt about Nellie's marital status had about evaporated. He displayed his usual swagger. Ellroy was exiting the bathroom as a senior editor, and Robert Wyatt was going in. Nellie observed their conversation. James admired the other man's tie and said, Are those golden retrievers on your tie? The Hearst executive was very pleased. Why, yes they are. Do you have a golden retriever? Asked James, showing interest. Why, yes I do, the Hearst executive said proudly, by this time feeling at ease. Her name is Daisy. The two men were face to face in the hall while I leaned against the wall and waited. James said, when Daisy dies, you're going to have her roasted or stuffed. As the face of the other man turned to disbelief and horror, I took James by the elbow and got him out of there. Ellroy did not feel any regret at embarrassing a senior editor. He felt comfortable and unthreatened in his position as an Avon author, later joking about the incident in another letter to Nellie. Tell Dave the stuffed dog idea is passé. I have a better idea, a barbecue. Dave supplies the dog, Avon supplies the guest list, and I supply the soy sauce. We can roast the noble hound in Central Park, and in lieu of an apple in its mouth, we can use Avon books that are flopped, such as Sea Trial by Frank De Felitta. If Mr. De Felitta objects to this, we can roast him as well. Ellroy had heard a rumour that after writing several bestsellers, De Felitta had secured a $1 million deal to publish Sea Trial with Avon, and it had flopped. Ellroy believed that he could do better, but he was about to receive one almighty humbling. And if you want to know what that humbling is, go back.